starting. All right, let's start off. What's up, everybody? We are not on the podcast. Abigail's camera's doing the soft focus again. So we're gonna have to start this.
Oh, great, immediately. First I owe $275 just for my mental health, and now this.
Okay. Ignoring that. What's up, everybody? We're just not on the podcast. I am Josh, and this is my co-host Abigail. We are back with another episode where we continue our deep dive into Paranormal Activity. Today we are covering the second film in the series. Actually, I'm not sure if it's the second film in the series because I found out that there's a spin-off movie that I haven't seen that is tangentially connected called Paranormal Activity Tokyo Night.
What?
It was just like a Japanese one.
Was it created before this one?
I think it was released like the same year or something. I have to look into it. Maybe from what I hear, it's like barely connected. So like maybe like after we go through the main series and we're still vibing with it, we can try and see if we can find it. But
like main timeline wise, this is the second movie.
This is the second movie.
Definitely, right?
Yes, for sure. It's called Paranormal Activity 2 for a reason. So yeah.
So yeah. But this one's following mostly Katie from the first movie, her sister. And you actually find out
sister's name. I forgot her name.
What is her sister? You know what? I'm gonna pull up a list of names real fast.
Yeah, because unlike the first movie, which was very easy to remember their names, I've forgotten all their names.
Yeah, there's more characters in this one.
Martine, I remember her. You know, the goat.
I think it was pronounced Martine.
Martine, yeah, Martine.
All right, so. Oh, okay, Christy. Yeah, so it follows the main character from the first movie, Katie's sister, Christy, which you actually find out that this is like this happens prior to the first movie.
I believe the majority of the events starts like 2 months before the first movie takes place and then ends after.
Right, and it does technically like the first movie, because the first movie takes place in like such a short amount of time that technically the first movie is over by the time we're done with the second movie, but it's like at the very end, like that all wraps up like very quickly. But yeah, we've got, oh my god, wait,
what?
Never mind. Sorry, I thought the actor who played the baby was transgender now.
That would have been pretty crazy. I mean, it's been long enough. It's been, 16 years? Oh my god, it's been 16 years.
Wait, I'm confused. Why does it keep showing? It keeps showing the girl from Paranormal Activity 4 and with his name on it. Okay, we'll look into that later. That's not relevant at the moment. But the point is that we mostly follow in this movie Christy, as well as like her husband, kind of. He's not in it like a whole lot. I'm pretty sure his name is Daniel, what I'm looking at. And then they get married, and he already has a child from a previous marriage. Her name is Allie. And they get together, they have a baby named Hunter. So when we first meet them, Hunter is like a little tiny baby.
A fetus.
And no, that's when they're in the womb. I'm pretty sure. An infant is when they're. I'm pretty sure that's called an infant. He's an infant. And then a little later, actually not a little later, I'm pretty sure we go forward like an entire year. And basically they end up getting cameras set up around their house because someone broke in, but like didn't, which by the way, did we ever come back to that? The fact that they had people break in and no one stole anything.
I think we're meant to think it's the start of the ghost shit.
I that's what I thought, but then I thought that they'd come back to that and like talk about it more, but they didn't. So
No.
yeah, I think he's right though. I think like we're meant to believe that this is the ghost.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically they come home and like their house is completely ransacked, but nothing's been taken except for I'm pretty sure like a very cheap but like sentimental bracelet that her sister made for her, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like
I
the
think they
only thing
both
that's
had
missing.
one or something like that. Yeah.
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 And she's distraught. She, Anyway, so yeah, that's how our movie starts. Would you like to
Yeah.
speak now?
Um. So yeah, it starts like that, and then we kind of like we do actually see Katie and Micah from the no fuck
Mika.
Katie and Mika from the first
Yeah.
film.
You do
Um,
like a decent amount actually, especially at the beginning.
yeah, at the beginning, like they are like in it, and like Mika is still being creepy with the camera every time he has a chance to get a hold of that thing. Um,
Yeah, and actually it's Daniel's fault because Daniel has the camera
yeah,
and Mika sees it. He's like, "Oh man, this is sick," and it's
yeah.
what gave him like the male urge to
He's just like,
suddenly
wait a
own it.
second, is it masculine to have a voyeur fetish? Like is it, fellas? Is it gay to like to watch people with a camera?
Yes. Well, maybe something else. But yeah, so we do see them like a decent amount, and I think that when stuff first starts to happen, Christy starts to try to talk to Katie about it a little
She
bit.
shuts it down.
And yeah, Katie's like, nah. Very much how she is in her movie, like where she doesn't want to feed into it. And she says that directly to Christy. She's like, I don't think it's a good idea to talk about this. So Christy like takes that advice very seriously and pretty much like she goes from very much so kind of thinking something's starting to happen and her stepdaughter Allie is really thinking something's happening too and they're kind of talking about it a good bit. And
The thing
then
is with the stepdaughter, what's her name? Allie, you said?
Allie,
Um, she initially is just like, what if it's my dead mom? So like
yeah, which is
she
fucked.
get yeah, which is really fucked
But
up.
but I don't know if she like totally thinks it. Like I think she's half joking at the beginning because she's
I
like,
don't know.
dude, if this house was haunted, that would be sick.
At first, but when
Remember?
she remember she
Yeah.
has that conversation with her dad alone, where she's just like, because
That's
I
what I'm
think
saying. Like
he tries to
yeah.
dissuade her from this, but then she's just like, but what if it's mom? You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
like,
And
I do
they're
think
kind of like
initially she is kind of like this could be a benevolent spirit, but we very quickly
yeah.
find out otherwise.
Which it's weird because like I feel like Christy and Allie kind of go back and forth a good bit throughout the movie of like, thinking something's going on because at the beginning when Christy really seems to think something's happening cuz it really is focusing on Christy at the beginning. Like she's really the only one that's experiencing anything. I think like her first real scary experience was that like she heard a crash and she came downstairs and a pot had fallen from like those like little pot hangers that have like the hooks. One
Yeah,
of the pots had fallen and that freaked her out really bad and then another one fell when she was down there. That was very concerning to her. But then Ali and Daniel have this conversation behind Christy's back where they're like making fun of her for thinking something's going on, which was really
mm-hmm.
fucked up. Like Josh and I were
Yeah,
talking about that. We're like, Christy is like relatively new to the family, and she's been very like sweet and welcoming to Ali. And like I understand that, Daniel is Allie's dad and has been from the beginning, and that they have this certain bond. But to me, it just felt like a little bit fucked up that they're like making, which I don't think is Allie's fault, obviously, but that they're making fun of her and like kind of
yeah,
ousting her like behind her back. That just felt, especially like when she's scared. Like, valid or
yeah.
not, she's scared. She's not doing anything wrong, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
And like, even if it is like a mental health episode, like you should be treating it with concern, you know.
Right. And like being gentle about it. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, also, I think Christy feels a little bit more sold on the fact that something's happening because they don't exactly say what her role is, but I'm pretty sure she's supposed to be just a general housekeeper. She seems to clean, cook, take care of the baby, all of that. And Martine is very sure that she is feeling something in the house, and she does not think that it is a positive spirit. So she goes around like saging and stuff like that. And there's one night where what happens that makes her sage again? And then how did they? Oh, they catch her doing it, right? They come in.
They catch her doing it. Hold on.
Did your animal come in? Wait, what's the name of the dog?
Actually, hold on. I'm doing a podcast. I can't have it. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. What were we talking about? Oh, Martine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they catch her doing it. But like it starts off where she's just like cleaning up downstairs. And
Yeah.
you can kind of see her like pause every now and then, like she just feels something. Like we don't really get too much during that scene, except for I think there's like a very loud bang or something she hears, and she grabs the kid and immediately starts like doing the fucking whole like
Saging.
lighting
Also,
the
mind
sage in
you,
and
the
running
baby's
around.
probably like a year or so old at this point, just for
Yeah, can't
reference.
walk, can't talk, can't do jack
I think
shit.
he's toddling, but like he's very shaky. He's a new baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, she starts saging, and then they come home. I think they're like on a date or something, and they come in and they see her saging. The dad, Daniel, like flips out on Martine and is like, he says something about like, I asked you to stop doing this or something like that. And he basically fires her, which
Turns out to be a
I feel
mistake.
like very much so, but also I feel like is so stupid. I feel like there was like more of a conversation that could be had, whatever. I guess it's not really relevant, but that pissed me off. So I was like, why are we firing her for caring about you and the house and the baby? Like, whether you think what she's doing is right or not, really, how bad is it? And also, it's because she cares, you
Yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm.
So
And
I felt like that was stupid, but whatever.
yeah, I mean, it just depends on I guess religious traumas and stuff, and it's like I don't know how
Yeah, we did talk
healthy
about the
burning
fact that it could have
sage
come.
in front of this like 1 year old's face is
Which
healthy.
again, I do feel like though you could have hey Martine, maybe you can sage, but only if the baby is like asleep or something. Like don't sage with the baby in your arms.
Yeah.
Or just, hey, please don't sage anymore. Or hey, why are you saging? Like, is there something else we could do? I just feel like considering she's like been with the family, because we see her like all the way back when the baby is like a like a
Yeah, and
fresh
like
newborn baby.
she's got a good
And
relationship with Allie too. Like they were like
yeah,
dancing
Allie likes
together
her a
before
lot.
this and stuff. So it's like it's
Christy likes
obviously
her.
she's like a well beloved part of the family, and the fact that they just
Right.
booted her after
Yeah,
one
like it just felt like
incident.
such a small, yeah, like to
Yeah.
me, I just feel like there's a conversation that could have been had, and like it's, this is the baby probably spends most days with this woman and has grown attached to her and has been like a well-loved trusted member of the for minimum a year at this point,
Mm-hmm.
probably longer. Anyway, that's not really relevant, but that just pissed me off and ultimately was their big mistake, and
Yeah.
what probably leads to this whole situation getting a whole lot worse. um so Martine leaves, and basically like Allie starts to get a lot more involved with the baby and stuff like that. And like I said, Christy and Allie kind of are going back and forth on stuff going on. But after Martine leaves and after she has a conversation with Katie about kind of leaving it, Christy, despite still having like little bumps in the night that she's experiencing, kind of just lets it go. And Allie at this point is like pretty much fully like thinking that there's some sort of spirit in their
Yeah.
house. And she's done some reading and some research. We like witness a conversation that she has with her boyfriend where she's basically starting to figure out that she thinks whatever's there may not be the nicest
Yeah.
spirit.
I believe that that happens after the scene where she gets locked out, where she's supposed to
Does
be
it?
watching the kid. Because I think that's the first time where she really thinks, like, oh, this
That is
whatever's in here's bad. You know what I mean?
right.
She starts to,
Yeah.
like, she has seen stuff around here, but, like, remember, like, I think this is actually directly after, it's that same night where her and her boyfriend are doing the Ouija.
Yeah.
And
Right.
then remember it says Hunter on
Right.
the things. I think that's when she starts to piece things together.
Right.
Which, as we
Yeah.
found out in the first movie, when
You're
you use
right.
the
You're right.
Ouija, the shit gets worse immediately.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought that if you suspect there's a potential spirit in your home, that doing a Ouija board may not be the best choice?
Granted, with the first movie, they were directly told this. Allie was
And
never
they were
given this
adults.
information, and they were
And
adults. Yeah,
Allie's a kid. Allie's literally like 16, would you say?
yeah,
Probably. She's
yeah.
like definitely in high
If that.
school.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So like I don't blame Allie. I actually really like Allie's character. Cause like
Mm-hmm.
in the first movie, it was like I didn't mind Katie, but like Mika pissed me off. But like I actually like most of the characters in this movie,
Yeah.
except Daniel. I don't give a fuck about him.
They just can't write good
To be
men
frank.
in this series so
They
far.
can't. The
Yeah.
men suck. The best
Like,
man I've witnessed in this series is
it's
Hunter, and
Hunter,
he's an
yeah.
infant. But yeah, so Josh is right though. Yeah, so basically, kind of like the when shit starts to go down is this night that he was referring to where Christy and Daniel are wanting to go out on a date, and because they don't have Martine, Christy is very hesitant, but is ultimately convinced that they should.
Mm-hmm.
And Allie is left in charge of Hunter, which she does a great job. She's a good big sister, whatever. But after the baby's put down to sleep, she invites her boyfriend over, as you know, a lot of teens would.
Yeah.
And like Josh said, they do the Ouija board. They end up, you know, he's fucking around with it at first and like he's moving it, but then ultimately they do get like a legitimate response that says Hunter, which of course at the time she really doesn't know what that means or, you know, doesn't mean much to her. But then her boyfriend leaves. I'm pretty sure she like falls asleep on the couch or something and she's awoken by I think it's like another like really loud bump or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
Yeah, and then she wakes up, she's kind of searching the house, and then she gets like this really loud knock on the door. And I think she thinks it's her boyfriend, like trying to play a prank on her or
No,
something.
it's actually creepier than that. Remember, she walks up and the door's open. The door's cracked open.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That's really creepy. Like that's probably the worst
Yeah,
scenario where like you walk over and the
yeah,
door is cracked open, and then she
yeah. So
closes
it's
it,
open.
and
Yeah,
then she hears the knock, and then that's when
right.
stuff happens. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. So yeah, she goes and then she hears the knock, and then that's when I think she's thinking it's her boyfriend. I think she says
Yeah.
that later. But she opens the door and like looks like takes a step outside, which stupid, but again, she's a teenager. And the door slams shut and locks behind her. And Hunter wakes up from like the slamming sound and he's like crying. And she can't get in the house. Like all the windows are locked, all the doors are locked as Katie instructed her to do. She can't get in. And when they finally get home, her parents get home. I don't know what she's been doing. She's like trying to get inside the house somehow, I think. They come inside and then they figure out that she's nowhere. And especially Daniel, the dad, is like super fucking pissed at her when she finally like gets in and like explains what happened. He's like, "You're an idiot for leaving the house, la la la." No one wants to talk about the fact that the door locked behind her, but whatever. Um, but I think that really like solidifies things for Allie that like something's going on. And then yeah, and then that's the next day when she looks up all that stuff with her boyfriend. Do you want to speak? I feel like I'm just yammering away.
So she looks up stuff with the demon shit. I she doesn't
Finds out the stuff
immediately.
about like the firstborn son or whatever.
Yes. Well, I don't think. Does she find that out? Or does
Mm-hmm.
Martine tell them?
No, she finds that out. She looks up and found out that like Katie's side of the family hadn't had any like male births since like the 30s
Yeah.
or something like that. So basically, she had looked up like, I think different types of like entities and stuff, and she had found one that basically specifically looks to, I don't know if it's like take or possess, I don't know, but like the firstborn male.
Born male. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a deal for power or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense. I'm like, I think it's just at this point things just start to like ramp up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would say compared to the first movie, I would say it's way more gradual in this as things happen. Because it just literally just goes from like cabinets opening. We get a point where like the dad jumps into like the swimming pool and it's like into the hot tub and it's like way too hot.
Right.
The fucking pool cleaner keeps popping out of the pool, like just small
Yeah, and
things.
it's concerning Christy, and again, they're like making fun of her for like thinking it's weird.
Yeah. And eventually, we do get to the point where like it is ramped up to the point where like Christy is just sitting in the kitchen, and
Oh
like it's
yeah.
during the day, which is something that hasn't really
Terrifying.
happened in this franchise so far, where everything in the kitchen explodes open, like all the cabinets, all the
Drawers
cooking ware just falls and crashes down around her
at the
and
exact same time.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's honestly like really impressive. I'm like wondering how they did all that.
I was wondering that too. It was very scary.
Yeah, and you're not expecting it because it's during broad daylight. Like it literally looks like
Yeah,
2
and
p.m.
at
during
this
the day.
point, like even in the first Paranormal Activity, like the most that can happen during the day is maybe like a bump or something. But that's like
Something.
very much so the vast majority of everything in both movies have been at night. So you're like
Yeah.
not at all expecting that to happen.
Yeah, and we also start to get stuff like one time Hunter wakes up in the middle of the night and like gets like pulled up.
Yeah.
Or is that was that during when she was? No, that was actually the night where she gets locked out. He ends up down in the basement,
Was that
right?
that night?
I think.
No, that wasn't the same night. No, because that night, because when they wind up in the basement, she's like possessed at that point.
Yeah.
The night that she gets
Well, no,
locked out,
Hunter goes down in the basement by himself at one point.
does he?
Yeah, I think it might have been when she's locked out. He gets pulled up out of the thing.
I
And
do
then he ends up
remember.
walking downstairs and then going down in the basement by himself at one point.
Did he?
Yeah.
I do remember him getting like that was that same night.
I think it might have been that same night. But then I do know
Ugh, no.
Christy later, like when shit really starts to go down, and this is when she gets at her worst, is I believe that something happens to the dog. That's another thing that we haven't really talked about too much.
That was like the one that started like the beginning of the end because it was like the dog thing, and then the next day because he had taken the dog to the vet, and then the next morning he's like Christy is not getting out of bed. Like at that point she's like possessed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But wait, so when Christy is possessed though, that happens because we may have to cut this part because I'm trying to figure something out. So when Christy is possessed though, that happens post her getting dragged into the basement.
Yes.
Which I'm pretty sure. Oh, I remember now. That happens while he's taking the dog to the vet.
The dog to the vet. Yeah.
Yes,
So like, we randomly cut
yes,
to a
okay,
scene.
so we can start that part over.
Yeah. So we end up cutting to a scene with the dog, where we haven't talked about the dog much, but the dog, just like Martine, has like known something has been up the whole fucking time. Like it's just barking at random shadows.
Room all the time. Is always like growling and stuff.
Yeah. And one day, something
and she's
like
barked directly at the basement door a few times.
Yes, yeah. There's just multiple times where we hear that the dog is like fucking fighting a ghost. basically.
Yeah.
And we do
Yeah.
get the moment where like the dog is downstairs by itself and starts barking at something, and then we see it like almost struggle with something, like almost looking like
Yeah.
it's doing tug of
Tug of
war or
war.
something, and then all of a sudden it gets yanked, and
And
then
he's like
we
yelping
hear
and
the
stuff.
yelp,
So,
yeah, and
yeah.
then that wakes everybody in the house up. They run downstairs. She's like not
She's like
well,
passed out, like
and
behind
takes
the couch
her.
or something.
Allie and was it George? What the fuck's his name?
Allie and Daniel. Daniel's the
Daniel.
dad.
They take Abby to the vet, and Christy stays back to stay with Hunter. And that turns out to be a
Yeah.
real bad thing because she's, I don't remember exactly where she is. I think she's in Hunter's room.
I think was she I know that like she was sitting on the stairs for a long time and a lot of time was passing 'cause she was just waiting
Yeah.
to hear back about Abby. Had she moved at that point? Was she in Hunter's room or
I
did
think
it
she
happen when
eventually.
she was on the
I do
stairs?
think she might have heard a noise come from Hunter's room, and she
Oh yeah, because
goes
she gets
there
dragged
because she
out
gets
of his room
dragged
and he's
out down the
crying.
stairs and then like down in the
Yeah.
basement. Like she literally like
Because
it's kind
she
of,
gets dragged down the stairs and then she like paws her way back up and then
yeah,
tries to go get Hunter and then it drags her
and
right
drag
back
all the way
down.
down into the
Yeah,
basement.
and the
Yeah.
baby's like scream crying. It was very scary.
Yeah, and you just hear the baby crying the whole time, and then like time passes, and eventually she just comes up the stairs with like the catatonic state that we saw Katie in the first movie, where she's just like
Yes,
gone and just
gone.
walks upstairs. But
We don't know what happened to her down there.
the next we cut to the next day, and Allie, like we don't, it's never clarified what is actually happening with this dog. 'Cause we never
We
see the
never
dog
find out if
again,
she's okay.
if she's
Yeah, because
dead
I'm
or
pretty
not,
sure
or
they do say that like at this point the dog isn't dead because he does.
yeah.
So cut to like after that night happens, the next morning we cut to Daniel telling Allie, "Hey, I'm so sorry to do this to you," which this pissed me off so bad. He's like, "I'm so sorry to do this to you. Christy, I can't get Christy out of bed. I don't know what's wrong with her, but I need you to babysit Hunter because I have this last minute meeting that I've like pushed a couple times and I can't miss it. So I need you to stay with Hunter, but don't worry. Like, call me if anything happens. I'll be 2 hours tops, and I'm gonna pick up the dog on the way home, basically."
Yeah.
So at this point, like the dog had been kept for to be observed. So like as far as we know, she's like okay for now. But first of all, and Allie is terrified, mind you, like
Yeah.
terrified because at this point they're all like sure, except Daniel I think is sure too, but he's like mega in denial that or just doesn't want it to be true that the dog or sorry the dog there's a demon like in the house
Yeah.
and there's something wrong. So Allie doesn't want to be in the house alone. She knows that demon is responsible for whatever happened to Abby.
Yeah.
She is like terrified, I'm sure, at the fact that Christy is like unresponsive. And he's not even leaving the baby with her to take Christy to like a doctor or something. He's leaving to go have a business meeting.
Work. Yeah.
Which, like, mind you, like these people are already good. They're like living in this really nice house. Like you could miss a fucking meeting, dude.
It's just like
so insane.
It's like, what is the point of being rich if you can't enjoy being rich? Like, it don't make no goddamn sense to me.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to me. But I'm like, and Allie is literally like begging him to not leave, and he just goes anyway. And at this point, Allie's been like recording pretty regularly since she found what she found on the internet about like, her thinking that it's a demon. So she's been doing like a little video diary kind of talking about what she's been experiencing.
Yeah.
So most of this latter half of the movie is Allie and like her camera. So while her dad's gone, she goes to try to check on Christy. And Christy's like, wait.
Well, she goes to check on the baby. She goes to check on Hunter.
Well, because I was remembering, I was getting it mixed up with when the dad is upstairs with Christy and he's like tucking her into bed and she's like just staring off into space and he's like,
Well, I think that
Hi, sweetie.
happens right before he leaves. I think.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Like I got that confused.
Yeah. But eventually, after he leaves, she goes upstairs and like it's like cradling Hunter. And then Christy comes in like pissed that she's like
Yeah.
touching her, that she's touching Hunter, and it cuts there, so we don't know if she like fucking punched her or beat the shit out of her or nothing. We don't know what happened there.
But we do know Allie's like terrified.
Terrified because next thing we see that she's on the phone with her dad, being like, "You gotta get the fuck back right now. Christy's not okay."
Yes.
Like, yeah.
And also, like, to continue with this guy being the worst, he literally told her before she left, or before he left, he's like, call me if anything happens, I'll be right there. But you hear her having to like argue
Yeah.
and beg him to come back, and he's
To
clearly
come back now.
arguing. She's like crying and like something's wrong with Christy, and like the baby's not safe, whatever. She's having to like beg this dude to come
Yeah.
back.
It's like, and
The
it's like,
worst.
it's like terrifying because it's like, you got to think about like, she's like between the ages of 12 and 16, like just totally
She's
not.
definitely older than 12. But yeah,
She
she's
looks
like
12 years older than me, but I'm like, I'm getting to the point
she's
where like everybody under the age of 18 looks like
she's
they're
definitely
fucking
minimum
12.
14. But yeah, she's very young. She's very
Yeah.
young.
But like but it's like, but she's home alone. Her dad's not here, and the only other source is someone who's like, it's not even her real mom, and she's being fucking weird, and she's already experienced all
Yes.
the other weird shit going on in his house.
Yes.
Like, there's just no comfort for her. There's no one there for her to latch on to. She's completely alone in this moment. It's
Right.
gotta suck.
Yes, totally.
But
So
he does come back. I'm not sure what happens at
I
that
just
point.
remembered actually.
What?
Because I didn't either, but I just remembered. So he does come back, and at this point, like Allie, I think has tried like a couple times to try to get to Hunter, and Christy is like full on like
Yeah.
no.
Like, we see
And
her
I
just
am
like catatonically staring out the window in Hunter's room, like not letting anybody get to him. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't remember at this point that at some point her and Hunter end up in the basement. I don't remember if she's gone down there yet or if this is after. I think she does before the dad gets home. But Daniel comes home.
Well, because what Daniel comes home, and then
He
because
calls Martine.
Allie, what's because Allie shows him the video of her getting dragged in the basement, and that's when like,
Yes.
for finally,
Yeah.
he is finally being like,
she.
this is a demon. Like, I
Yes.
can't do anything about this. The only person that knows about this
Right.
shit is the woman I fired. So they get her
Right.
involved. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, because he tries to go immediately, like see what's going on with Christy and Hunter, and Allie's like crying and like begging him to look at the footage first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like Josh said, he does, and calls Martine, and Martine is like, shit's bad. Martine is like, this is not. She's like brought her sage, she's brought like a crucifix, like shit is not good. And then what happens with Martine again?
So like when she gets there, she pieces it together right away. I'm like, the only way that we can get rid of this is by transferring it to someone else of the bloodline.
But it has to be like, yeah, someone in the bloodline.
Yeah. So, they transfer it to Katie. The Daniel's like, I will do whatever the fuck Katie. Allie's at least pressing back a little bit.
Yeah, Allie's like, we can't do that.
We can't do that. She's like, just Aunt Katie. Like, we can't fuck her up like that. But he's just like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
fuck Katie.
Yeah. Which, like, to a certain extent, I understand, because it's like not only his wife, but it's also like his child is in danger at this point. But I do feel like it feels like it should be pretty obvious that, like, if the demon has this much control, that it transferring to Katie wouldn't like solve things.
I mean, it does. I just didn't think they prepared for it to ever come back. Like I think it's because they didn't think about the fact
like if it
that he
transfers
wants
to Katie, though. That's like, yeah.
No matter what, he still wants that kid. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So like,
that's what I'm saying.
Like at least like lock the doors or like something. You know what I mean? I don't know how she got in, but
Yeah. So
I wonder
Yeah,
if
they
you transferred it to Katie and then you just shot Katie in the head. Is it done?
maybe it's possible. I doubt it.
Or would it
If
go
it's
back?
like
Maybe, I don't know.
I feel like probably because it's like it can use a host to do stuff, but it clearly doesn't need one. So it's like I feel like if Katie died, like that's not Katie's soul. So I feel like it would just go back into the void. No,
Maybe. But
I don't
like
know.
I don't know if it doesn't need one or not because like
Well, it
obviously
clearly doesn't because it just makes fucking pans explode without a body.
I know, but in order like whatever they need to do with Hunter, it feels like they needed
Right.
a body for that because that's why he comes at the
Yeah,
at the
maybe.
end. But before we go too far ahead, we like they like start to do the ritual that involves like a black cross that, you know, if you had seen the first one, you know, randomly Katie is holding this passed out in her home, which we know is because they complete the ritual with this. But they start to do the ritual, and then all of a sudden, like all the lights go out in the home, and everyone's separated. We have this cool like night vision sequence that's like pretty creepy. Like no one can see each other. You just have like Allie trying to stay near Daniel, but Daniel doesn't want Allie near him because like he's got to go down in the basement to go find Christy, who has gone down there
In the baby.
with
Yeah.
Hunter. Yeah. And there's like shit going on, like, you know, random noises. I think we see rats at some point in the basement. Now also
Daniel
we've
falls several times, which is kind of funny
yeah,
if I
it's
hadn't
like
been so
we
stressed.
they have established that that basement is just a fucking pigsty. Like there's just shit strewn everywhere. There's no
And
rhyme
it's
or
so
reason to
dark and
it.
he doesn't own a flashlight, I guess.
And yeah, he doesn't own a flashlight. um, and eventually, like he like gets into like a fight with Christy. But it ends when he like touches her skin with the cross. It seems like when he did that, that's when everything went down. You see like the camera fall to the floor and like the floor like
Yeah, it looks like an
vibrates.
earthquake is happening. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it like cuts to, I guess, like the time of when the first movie ended, and we just see everyone like has completely gone back to normal. He's chilling on the couch. Daniel's chilling on the couch. Christy's up in Hunter's room taking care of the baby. We don't see Allie, but we find
Allie
out that
was, yeah, she's on a trip or
she's on a
something.
school trip. Yeah. They didn't
Also, we
rehire
don't see the
Martine.
dog. We
We
don't
don't see
have
the dog.
any information about where she's at or what's
Yeah,
happening with her
yeah. Martine still has no job.
for some reason.
For some reason, I would. She's on retainer. Like no matter what she does, she's got income
Yeah,
coming from me.
I'm like, you're with me, girl.
But anyway, maybe she didn't want to come back. Maybe she was just like, yeah,
Yeah,
I
she's
think that
like,
shit's
fuck
coming
that.
back. You know what
Fuck
I
that
mean? And it's
place.
probably good
And
that
who
she
could
doesn't
blame her? She was trying to
because
prevent it from getting worse, and she probably was the reason it wasn't. And then
yeah,
they went and did that. She's like, it's no return. Y'all good. Y'all
yeah,
got
yeah, yeah.
this.
She would have told Allie get that fucking Ouija board out of his house. Um,
Oh yeah.
but so we see Katie appear in the video of the living room area, where Daniel's just like sitting on the couch, and he hears a noise that comes from the kitchen, and we see that Katie is not in the kitchen; she's in like this front room area, like what do you call them? Entryways,
Foyer?
like foyer, yeah, foyer. Um, and he's just
Foyer.
like, whatever, and he like goes back to watching TV, and then she like appears right behind him and just fucking snaps his neck, like,
Snaps his
just
neck.
the
And then
easiest.
marches her happy ass right upstairs.
Yeah, the neck snap was a little corny to me. I don't know why it didn't
Yeah.
land. It was just like it just didn't feel right. There was not enough like force, and it just felt
Yeah.
lazy.
Yeah.
But
I don't
then when
disagree.
she goes upstairs, Christy is just like Katie, and then she gets fucking thrown similar to how Mika does in the first one, right at the camera,
Yeah.
and
And then she just snatches that
she just
baby.
takes the kid and leaves, and then we get the end card that's like you know, the bodies of Christy and Daniel were found by Allie when she came home from her school trip on October 11th or whatever the fuck, whenever this takes place. And was it Katie and Hunter were never found.
And also, we don't know what happened to the dog. Fuck the dog, I guess.
Yeah, fuck that dog.
I care. I want to know what happened to the dog.
Yeah.
And also, what's more is Josh had to say, for some fucking reason during the movie, he decided to pause it and be like, I hate watching movies, older movies with dogs in it, because then I'm like, I know for a fact you're dead now. Like, okay, you're not wrong, but like, why?
Cause it's like you're like, damn. I'm like, cause like sometimes
I hadn't
you
even
just
thought
wonder
about
how,
that.
like, sometimes you're like, man, I wonder how Airbud's doing. I'm like, there's been 42 Airbuds. There's been 40. They keep having to replace Airbud.
That's fucked up. Anyway.
Uh.
But yeah, you want to talk about end thoughts? Because I know you and I
Yeah.
had like a little bit of like a different. Also, 2 seconds. There's like a weird setting on my headphones at the moment. Okay, speak.
Hello.
Okay, we're good.
Okay. So, yeah, we can just talk about end thoughts. Unlike the first movie, I don't believe there was any alternate endings that we had to view, right?
No, not that we saw, at least.
Let me actually pause.
Should we look that up?
Let me just look it up real quick. That might be. Yeah. So there is no alternate ending. They had it with this one, which I guess makes sense with this one because like at this point they're in franchise mode, so they want to leave it open ended so they can keep making more.
Wait,
Also, another
horror movie.
It was.
Yeah.
Movie star.
It was in. Oh, it looks like a short film. Yeah, it's a short film called Charity. It says Mia finds a doll that looks just like the one she had when she was little. After she brings it home, however, strange things begin to happen, and one suspicious night leaves Mia in a different place entirely. And the stars are Abby the dog and a couple other people. I kind of want to watch that after this. Thoughts?
Yeah, we could.
Anyway.
But yeah, anyway. Okay, there was no alternate endings. We'll cut that out.
Okay.
But yeah, so thoughts on the movie. I'll say, oh, speaking of, I just going back to the alternate endings. This is something I found out when I was doing research earlier. Apparently, I don't know if we didn't talk about any of the making of stuff Paranormal Activity, the first one, but one of the big pushers of the movie was actually Steven Spielberg. He had gotten like an advance copy when like before it went out to theaters and everything of the first one. And he's actually the one that told him to go with the ending they did, which I don't agree with myself personally, but
you know more than Steven Spielberg.
Yes. But he like apparently like he loved it. Like he was just like, yeah, this shit's spooky as fuck. Like I kept looking around and shit. So like he probably helped shop it around to like production companies that allowed them to put it out there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I do agree that it was still effective.
Like what do you mean?
The ending they went with.
I don't know if it like if it wasn't for that last shot of her staring at the camera and lunging at the camera,
I agree.
Everything else was fine.
I don't like that.
It was just that one that last 5 seconds of that. Still, like,
I agree.
Like it doesn't.
But everything else, like just not knowing, I liked, there being a mystery of like what happened to Nika downstairs, and then and she does throw him, but like you don't really see, and it is a jump scare, and then like all of that seemed fine to me. I agree with Josh. It was really just like the corny staring.
The corny shit. But anyway, back to this movie. I like if I had to rate this, like because I don't think I rated the last one during the pod. I would put Paranormal Activity 1 as a 4. I'm thinking I'm putting 2 as a 3.
You know what's funny? I think I rated it swapped.
Swap?
If I remember correctly. I think so.
I think it's double check. The tension that is throughout that first movie just really wasn't here for me for the second one, which is weird because I remember I did like the second one more when I first watched it. So I wonder why I felt that way at the time, because I think it's because the ending of this one is so much more ramped up. Like, we really start to see ghost shit happen in the last 30 minutes of this movie, with like shit flying, things slamming, people getting possessed, babies getting fucking dragged down the stairs, all that shit. Like, it really gets because the first movie, you do kind of linger, and it's like, is this actually a ghost? Is he just fucking with her? Is she just fucking with him? There is that kind of that thing, but at this point we know there's a ghost, and they don't shy away from it. They go all in. But because of that, there's just not that tension, because it's like,
I disagree. I felt tension. I do think that like the first one for sure more so.
I disagree.
Actually, because like with the first one, definitely had like, because with the first one, Josh is right. Like, they don't go like all in on the ghost shit, and a lot of it is like just the anticipation, which I do like, and I do think like you end up creating like the spookiness kind of yourself in that. But I do feel like it's still like gradually got there to me, and also like there were still so many like still moments where it would be like quiet or nothing would be happening, and then it would abruptly have something happen. So I get what you mean. Like, I'm not trying to say like you're not valid in that. I'm just saying like for me, I did feel tension, but I can understand why you think that way.
I think another thing too is like, when I first watched the second one, I genuinely didn't know where it was gonna go. But I've had the ending of this one burned in my head for 16 years now. So like, I knew exactly where everything was gonna end up this time. So maybe that is taking some of it away, and I don't
that could be
remember what my initial feelings were on the movie, because it's been so long, and I was fucking 14, 15 years old. So it's probably completely different than how I feel now. But at least with the third one, I remember liking that one the most of the four I've seen.
I'm very excited
and
to do that.
And I don't really remember how that one ends up. So I'm excited to get to that one.
We'll see. Yeah. Do you want to, any other thoughts before I say my rating?
No.
Besides like the tension part?
I did like it. I'm not going to say I didn't like it. I just didn't like it as much as the first one.
The first one?
Yeah, but it's definitely a worth watching movie if you enjoy found footage, for sure.
Yeah. Word. Well, my ratings were, I guess I'll say my first rating as well. I rated that one a 3.5, and I rated the second one a 4. Okay. So yeah, I think for me, this is like what I told Josh, and I will say I was feeling particularly jumpy that day. I don't know why. There was literally a scene where I think I screamed or something.
During the first one?
Oh, hey, hold on. Relax. Leave us alone. We're doing our best, okay? Yeah. It's not like we have the most expensive of equipment. Get off our back.
Yeah.
Even.
She has to pay $400 in therapist bills because she's crazy.
For one appointment. It's $300, but still. Anyway. Oh my God. And I just lost my job also. Great timing. Oh yeah, brother. We're unemployed. Pay us.
Yeah. Fuck capitalism. We know.
Donations in the description. We'll put our Venmo. Exactly. Just in case you just want to donate for no reason.
Yeah, if you just want to be nice.
Also, donate to our Kickstarter so we can fund our found footage.
Our movie.
Yeah. That hasn't been created yet, and that we don't have a concept
we
for.
Don't even have we have bounced around like 7 different starting points, and we have gone nowhere from there.
We'll get there. Maybe we'll talk about this next movie we want.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, but the point is, I was very jumpy that night. So there is that. But I do think what really made the movie effective for me is that I do not enjoy seeing animals or children or babies in danger.
And you get all three of them.
You get all that. Like, I think that's why, like, my first favorite scary movie ever was The Conjuring, because watching like the mom possessed and trying to kill her kids, like, was very like
Visceral.
that gets yeah, and like that, like, I'm like, oh my god. So like seeing stuff happen to the baby, seeing stuff happen to the dog, seeing the like Christy, you know, like looking at Allie like she was gonna kill her, and then not knowing what she was doing with the baby upstairs, if she was hurting it, like what was happening. That was all very, very scary to me. And very effective to me. And I did feel like Allie, I feel like Allie was a really good addition to the movie.
She definitely has the most heart in the film. I think it's just it might just be the fact that she's just like probably the best actor in this film.
She is.
Like
yeah,
Christy
I
kind
agree.
of like didn't really have much to work with. She was just kind of like, I am victim mother.
Right. Yeah.
And
She didn't
Daniel
have a ton of personality. Yeah, he was like a boring version of Mika.
But like Allie had, she's just like she's a teenager who's got like a way not on her league boyfriend who's like kind of shitty and weird.
Josh kept making fun of this poor kid's haircut. It was
like
bad.
like everybody had that at the time because I remember I was there. But like, God, it was just
coconut
terrible.
head looking ass.
Like, coconut head looking ass with the middle part. It was oof.
Yeah,
it was rough, but still.
Yeah.
Anyway, like, yeah, it's just she had that with like the sneaking him over. So she's just like, she was still an active.
She had like some
full form
depth
character.
to her.
Yeah, exactly. Like
it
she
felt
had
like
a
they
life
really
outside
didn't.
of the spooky shit.
Which, as we're talking about it, I will say I think like that's something that this movie was missing, was like creating more depth and like life for Daniel and Christy, because really the only depth you get for Christy outside of that is her talking to Katie a few times, and you could tell that was really all just to kind of set up like A, the connection with the first movie, and B, what, you know, Christy was going to be experiencing. So it felt less like a sibling bonding relationship, you know, that gave her depth, and more so just like
each other.
No, and it's like they were meant to too. Like it was like really felt like that's how it was supposed to be, but it just like the connection wasn't really there. So I think honestly, if Allie hadn't been there, I honestly think I'd probably dislike the movie a lot more. Now that I'm thinking about it. But I do think Allie was great, and I do feel like I really liked the addition of having like the baby and the dog. Like I do feel like all of their involved, that was all really scary to me, and like gave me like more to kind of like think about and get spooked over. So yeah, I think overall good movie. I liked it. I like Josh said, I think it's worth a rewatch. Yeah. Also, I will say this is a shorter podcast than normal, which honestly probably a preferable length to most people. But I just want to put out there that likely all of our Paranormal Activity movies from here on out likely probably will be about this length, just because we're kind of covering a similar concepts. And we already set the groundwork on the first one in terms of found footage, in terms of like the lore and stuff like that. So kind of like here on out, we're going to be familiar for at least most of the movies with the lore and like the fact that we're dealing with found footage and the effectiveness of found footage and stuff like that. So it'll probably just be more so talking about like the actual story, and
the implications
scares
of the franchise and shit like that.
Yeah. So if you're wondering, you know, if you see our podcast, like our next few, you know, go down a good bit and not be a million hours.
I mean, let's double check before
we're at an hour.
I mean, that's perfectly fine. That's
no, it is. It's no. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying we usually are at like an hour 45. So I'm just saying That's why, is because we, a lot of it is groundwork we've already covered
Yeah,
in
it's very
episode
similar.
1.
There's only so many times we can be like, and the cupboard door slammed open. Yeah, I mean, like, we
Right.
have done this before, but yeah, but
Yeah, but I
yeah,
am super excited for number 3.
yeah, three is my favorite, and I've heard other people say 3 is their favorite too. So,
yeah, I'm pumped. So we'll do that one next week.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We might, depending on if we've burned ourselves out or not, at the end of Paranormal Activity, we also have another corny little found footage movie that I've seen before that I don't really remember that we might cover.
Lady one that you
Yeah, the one with
the
Alzheimer's patient.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was taking Deborah Logan, right? Taking possession of Deborah Logan. Yeah.
We might dip into that one after.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we still have 3, 4 marked ones, Ghost Dimension, and then Next of Kin.
Damn.
So we have.
Which, by the way, I think for marked ones, we might have. I don't know if we'll have them like talk about it, but I think we are going to watch that one with our friend / my boyfriend. Because I think Emily said she wanted to watch it. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be down.
So
I don't
know. I don't know if we'll have them. Remember, she was like, whatever. We'll talk about it later. But the point is that I don't know that they'll like give their opinions or anything. We'll see. But
I mean, the last time we tried to do the thing, we were drunk. So we could probably try and do like a 4-person.
Will it be 4 hours? Yes.
Yeah, that might be a yapper pod. Yeah, with the group.
Yeah, we might have to. We may have to do some more editing with that one than we normally would. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, all right, guys. Well, thank you for watching the Not on the Pod podcast. And we'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one. Like, subscribe, comment.
Yeah, all that stuff. Right.